All right. Well, hello, sweet God candies. Welcome to the God Candy podcast, the first ever. I'm quite nervous, so I hope I will do right by you. And this is my first time on, doing this kind of thing. So I hope you like it. Um, okay. Well, let's begin. Um, so welcome. I'm going to base this podcast on and provide new insights into my book, Faith to Fortune. Unlock the secret lessons in the Bible to achieve boundless freedom and financial success. Um, the philosophy in the book and in this podcast is based a lot of what Neville Goddard taught on his teachings and on some of the Kabbalah and different thinkers like Reverend Ike, etc. So let's begin. I want to start with symbols, metaphors, and allegories. And let's begin with the known verse from the Bible. I hope that you don't mind me reading because I'm new at this and I hope that I can get across to you. And that's why I wrote things down, so I won't forget anything. Alright, so I hope that's okay with you all. So in this series we will explore how the scriptures explain and describe through symbols, metaphors, and allegories the structure of awareness or God, its creative power and means of revelation. Meaning that I believe that the Bible gives the blueprint of how to create your reality. And it's a simple process, but one that needs to be practiced a lot to get right. Well, it may not be that simple, but it's there and the wisdom is available for everybody. I believe that people, places, and events mentioned in the Bible are symbols, metaphors, and allegories explaining the characteristics of human consciousness, the nature of awareness, the workings of the mind. The wisdom-filled stories told in the Bible unfurl before us the process of manifesting desires. No more, no less. It's every story, every parable in the Bible, the First Testament and the Second Testament, talk about the exact same thing. How to manifest a reality, a desired reality. Well, we do it anyway, but we can do it consciously or we can do it subconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally. And I hope we learn how to do it intentionally and wisely. Essentially, however, there is only one character spoken of in both the First and Second Testaments. Excuse me, I'll move the bubble ahead. The First and Second Testament. You, I, every living being is the actual subject spoken of in the Testaments. You are the eternal I am. All people, places, and events mentioned in the Bible are aspects of each and every one of us. Basically, the scriptures are you explaining yourself to yourself. If you think about that, it makes sense because there's nobody else. There's only you. Let's continue and let's see what we can do. It's moving slowly. Alright, so I will be discussing the First and Second Testaments as one cohesive work of wisdom, where the wisdom imported in the Second Testament is based on but provide insights into the principles of the First Testament. It is not a secret that every book and every story in the Second Testament has a relationship to the First Testament because the people who lived in that time spoke about the wisdom they had before them, and that was the First Testament. So that was their reference. Alright, so let's see here. Let me get the next one. Okay, I will be quoting the King James Version of the Scriptures and some Kabbalistic principles, as you will see. Now, some of you are viewing it on YouTube or other media. Some of you are listening to this podcast, and that's great. Welcome, everybody. So I hope to make it clear for you. Either way, you can always refer back to it. And by the way, you can always make a comment and ask questions in the comment section or wherever is possible. Okay. Matthew 13, 10 to 11. Let me just read it out loud. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So now I'm going to give my little interpretation of this very famous verse. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. I know I have a little bit of an accent, and it's my first time speaking, so please bear with me. So the them are your own desires. Okay? When they ask him, Why speakest thou unto them? The them are your own desires, which are waiting to manifest in your life. The disciples, who symbolize 12 faculties of the mind, naturally know the mysteries of the subconscious. Your inner disciples, or mental disciplines, make up the engine parts of the vehicle that delivers your desires to your experienced reality. This is another metaphor. Your desires can't manifest themselves on their own. There are certain mindful mechanisms that need to be applied in order for your desire to be manifested. And those are told in the 12 disciples, which I'll probably get into in a future podcast. Excuse me. Desires need guidance in order to manifest. They are like seeds that need to fall on good ground, as spoken of in Matthew 13:8, just before this particular verse. In order for your desires to manifest, you have to create the proper environmental conditions by properly imagining the desired scenario with disciplined imagination. And I'm going to go a little bit into that in this podcast. The kingdom of heaven, as I will explain, is your subconscious, where all your yet unmanifested desires exist. We'll talk about that too. Now, in my book, I state that the 7 days of creation are actually 7 states of mind in the process of manifesting a desire. I don't believe it's necessarily a time process, but it is a states of mind process that you go through. It's not that you want to go through it or you can go through it. That's what you do anyway when you manifest a desire. Okay, in the book, I list the days corresponding with the state of mind. So the first day is meditation. The second day is reflection, and all these I will expand on in future parts of the podcast. The third day is conviction. The fourth day is projection. The fifth day is magnification. The sixth day is immersion. The seventh day or Sabbath is resignation. All these will be discussed in the future. Okay. So the first state of mind for manifesting a desire is meditation. This is going to be part 1 of the podcast discussing meditation. Excuse me, I'm just going to I'm nervous. I hope this goes all right. And that you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, so in my book, each verse is broken into the Hebrew, the English transliteration, the English King James Version, and my interpretation of that particular verse. So this is Genesis 1 verse 1. In Hebrew, beresheet bara elohim et shamayim ve'et aretz. Now I'm going to take each word and break down their meanings, and just to give you an insight into what the people who wrote the Bible were talking about. I believe. This is only my belief. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And in my interpretation, the mind as awareness creates or gives birth to the subconscious and consciousness. I say that heaven is subconscious and earth is consciousness. This is what my philosophy is. Alright, so let's begin. Let's begin in the beginning. This is the interpretation of in the beginning and created or gave birth to. I'm going to give the Hebrew letters and then give you my interpretation of that letter. Naturally, I use different sources, and I will talk about them later. Alright, so first you will notice that in the words beresheet bara, in the beginning and created, the first 3 letters are the same. Alright? Which shows an overlap between the words and their meaning, and I'm going to show you. So let's break down the word beresheet, in the beginning, and we will see that it's not only, it doesn't mean only just in the beginning. We will see. Alright, this Babylon is in a bit of trouble, but okay. Alright, the letter bet. The letter bet symbolizes a house, a foundation, a home, the inner world one lives in, and belief. It is also symbolized by the number 2 in the Hebrew alphabet. Resh, the letter Resh symbolizes head, the governing mind, issuance, revelation, a lofty idea, and it's an aspect of light, and I will be discussing that aspect of light in the future verses of let there be light in that context. And it is symbolized by the number 200, which is a magnification of the aspect of the letter bet. I see it if bet is a house, resh is a mansion. Aleph. The letter Aleph symbolizes origin, cause, a single source. It's also an aspect of light, just like resh is, and it is symbolized by the number 1. A little note here. The string of letters that make up the word Aleph is Aleph Lamed Pesafit. It means 1,000 and is used to symbolize a great magnification of a spiritual characteristic. And so the numbers and the letters, different numbers and different letters have a different kind of meaning when it comes to magnifying a spiritual characteristic of a particular event or a group of people, and you hear 40,000, people here, and 7 people there, and 7,000, and 70. All these are magnifications of the same principle. All right, let's continue with. Okay, so here we go. Now, as you see here, the 2 letters that make up the word beresheet is bar, make up the word bar, which means sun or issuance or pure desire. So already we see that there is a progression of an idea here. Bara, the 3 letters, make up the word meaning give birth, manifest, reveal, or create. Let's continue. Shin is the next word. And, alright, so it's giving me trouble here. There we go. The letter Shin symbolizes fire, energy, active imagination, the collective power of the body, spirit, and mind. And it's symbolized by the number 300. Here we go. Now, if you see here, these letters, Resh, Aleph, and Shin, make up the word Rosh, which means head, leader, forefront, or mind. And those are the first 4 letters. And as you can see, there is a progression of ideas here that are related to each other. Okay? Let's go to the next page. Let's continue here. I see that I already have it. And this bubble head is giving me a problem. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, so in the first four letters, we learned that pure desire is an expression of one's inner world or beliefs. In this initial stage of manifesting a desire, we're simply aware that we have a desire. This is the forefront of a desire, the outer edge of our reality, the skin of our beliefs. In the beginning is not a point in time, but a state of mind, our beliefs, from which desire springs. Excuse me. Once we condition a desire according to our personal beliefs, that is wants and needs, the idea of giving birth to a desire is revealed by your awareness. Creation is simply a revelation of another side of you. That is, everything has been created, and so the only thing to do is to reveal the part of you that is hidden away from you. Since everything has already been created, the desires you manifest in your life is a subconscious experience brought to the forefront as your experience of conscious reality. Okay, let's continue. Let's see what the next point is. Experienced reality is throwing a spotlight of awareness on a dark or subconscious space. That spotlight is the power of your imagination. In the verse, and God said, let there be light, means let there be imagination. And imagination isn't simply things you see. And we'll talk about that more. Awareness is the power of imagination. Imagination is not the creation of a new idea in your mind. It is the revelation of a subconscious part of you. So when you imagine something, it's not simply thinking up a new idea or something you like or something you want. It's actually revealing to you a part of you that you cannot otherwise see. Let's say you want to imagine a purple elephant flying in outer space. That is revealing to you, to yourself, another part of yourself. That elephant flying in space is just another part of you. Excuse me. Okay, let's continue with beresheet. All right. So Yod, the fifth letter of the word, beresheet. The letter Yod symbolizes magnification of the power of awareness, a great light, minimum effort for maximum results, symbolized by the number 10, which is a magnification of the letter Aleph, if you've noticed, that has a value of 1. And 10 is a magnification of the power of 1. Tav, the letter Tav symbolizes the ultimate objectification of the world, the complete unified body of reality, the supreme attainment, or a body, symbolized by the number 400. If you remember in Egypt, the Israelites or the Hebrews stayed there for 400 years. that's a symbol of an attainment of a particular state of being. And not necessarily 400 years. It simply means that a process was started earlier on, and the 400 is the completion of that process. With Moses, you know the story. I'll get into that story in another chapter. So the totality of the word beresheet shows that it does not simply mean in the beginning, but lays out the process of manifestation that begins as a belief, a desire you become aware of having. Then with active imagination, a heightened awareness, and with the least amount of effort, you shed light on the embodiment of your desire. That is your supreme attainment. Possibly, this is the process that Neville was talking about when he was talking about living in the end. It's possible. It's just something that I kind of thought about while I was doing this presentation. This process also splits awareness into two: the subconscious and consciousness, and I will discuss more about that soon. Note, a desire necessarily means that you have to forget that you are universal consciousness. Otherwise, you would know that you already have it all, because you are that all, and so you don't have to desire anything. If you remembered and be in that state of being it all, then you wouldn't have to desire anything. You would be all. You would be all the desires manifested all at once. And that is a state of mind, I personally would like to reach one day, and that's a process I'm going through. Okay, forgetfulness is subconsciousness, while memory is consciousness. So everything in your subconscious is what you have forgotten as the divine mind. And consciousness is everything you remember, your memory. So everything that you sense as your reality, as your consciousness, is what you remember as God, and everything else you've forgotten.